So I just want to talk a little bit about uncooking the Constitution and what that actually can entail. If people understand how a constitution works, how laws work, how society works, then these things can actually be achieved, where the pressure then is on the administrative staff of the civil service to follow the paperwork that's being handed in as a point of administrative duty. So there's always complaint forms. These people often will follow the administrative logic that is put in front of them, as long as it's following the criteria that's down. And we're seeing this constantly now. More and more people are getting educated to the point where they understand the administrative procedure, and it is a procedure, so that the chain reaction can continue on. And from there, we're also seeing that, a lot of pressure can be applied where pressure needs to be applied on the political spectrum. Not so much on the media at the moment, but certainly there's a counter media um, wave that's coming up from everything that's happening on the internet at the moment. Now, I think that a lot of people don't fully understand the mechanisms of the society as a in general, in on the whole. But I think that more and more people are coming into the way of thinking of logic is king, basically. So what it is, I've been sort of contemplating on this for just the last few days, and it struck me that the idea of what's happened is that people have been given lots of money, and they've been given the, how's to say, the shortcuts. They've been given, so there's a culture of shortcut, 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 shortcut. Now, whereas, for example, if you would leave 5 minutes early for your dinner, that's a sustainable shortcut. But then people want to leave 20 minutes earlier for the dinner, then another person wants to leave 20 minutes earlier, and these things then become unsustainable. It's bad housekeeping, it's shabby. We've got to uh, pick up the discipline. That's what it's all about. Like, logic is discipline, basically, with order, with good order. Now, I'm looking at a lot of the stuff what's coming through, and I think that there is a new generation which is very inspired, and it's also very inspiring for people who are looking to understand what's going on with this alt-right movement. And it was great that there was a definition made, like a defining line there between the alt-right and the alt-light. So like your Milos and all the, like the Geert Wilders would be one in on the international. The sort of like piecemeal, like even Trump in many respects, they're like piecemeal. So that's alt right. Anyway, you can look that up. And alt right is more like, it's us, the ones who don't get the platform. We're creating our own platforms. It's the public voice, and we're not being, we're not lying down and taking it. We're making our voices heard, and we know how to do that. And this is becoming more prominent. Now, the thing that I was thinking is that the millennia generation, as it's being called, the millennials, they've been brought up on computer logic, on programming, on understanding that logic is there for a reason, in order to understand the IT, the technology, and this has to follow. You can't have programming that doesn't follow logic. Now, this is important in someone's way of thinking. This is a philosophical point of view. And the reason why it's a philosophy is because it's it's a logic that's been brought about that uses language in order to function mechanisms. Now, our society basically is a structured um, software. It's a software for the hardware. the planet is the hardware, the nation states are the software. That's what we're working with. It's just a different template used in a different way. It's just upscaling on what the actual thing is. So the Constitution is the logic. Now, what's happening here is that a lot of the time, what we're seeing with the um, like the invasions and all of the chicanery that goes on with the Jewish people, in respect to the banking, the charity scams, the tax frauds, the offshore accounting, it's all in the administrative, because they're basically new crimes. The white collar industry, the white collar crime industry has just mushroomed in the last 10 years, really, since the mafia went legit. Basically, you know and there are certain timelines, but basically in the last 10 years it's really ballooned out of control, because they've worked out how to do it and how to protect that criminality, you know what I mean, without any accountability. So the accountability is now being reckoned up, and this is what we're seeing now with the millennials coming through, who are following the logic. They're looking at all the monies that's getting dished out here, there, the foreign aid, the money spent on weapons, the money spent on welfare, the money spent on subsidies for industry. There's a whole plethora of money stacks which are just they're just illegal, and they're not supporting the economic development and growth in a sustainable way of of the actual people who count, the citizens. Now, I could tell you a story on citizens that they're all men, because I've just been in a housing public office, public service office, basically, and what it was, there was three posters up for women counselling. You can, if you're a woman, you can get counselling for this. You can get, and it was three different like charity groups, three different counselling services, and then there was another poster saying we promote equality. But there was one poster more, and that one said, so there was three women posters. There was one poster separate from this wall of four posters, and the three were for the women, and in the middle, like middle for, I know, but one in the centre was a citizens advice. So the men are the citizens, you see, because we've lived in a patriarchal society, and women were never counted as citizens because they never needed to, because they belonged to a family unit, and this was always the way. So what's happened? The cultural Marxism's crumbled all of the society by basically crumbling all the family units. Women are now accepted as citizens, which they're not. That this is a point of fact, and the thing is, it holds some sway. Anyway, it's just on the back burner. Just hook it up, and you don't have to use it, but just use it in your paradigm shifting. You know what I mean? When you're looking at the society and it's functioning, you begin to see, oh wow, the citizen is the man. There are reasons why it's called a patriarchal society, because it is. It's a family based uh, society where the man is the head of the household, the head of the family. Now the woman can be, but it's always going to be in the man's name, basically. So even if she uses her maiden name, that's still her father's name. So it's always going to follow the patriarchal line. Now the thing is, our society is a much more simpler. So it's a much simpler designed model to follow. It's basically, the roots of it have grown through agriculture, because obviously everyone was nomadic at some stage. Then farming became a necessity. In the country of Wales, which is just next to me, some of the farmers still follow the sheep. With the winter, they will go to, I think it's into the valley where it's warmer, and in the summer they'll move house and go up. onto the top of the valley with the sheep. They follow the sheep. Now that's sort of a nomadic model. It's kind of quasi semi nomadic. It's got an actual name. I can't remember it now. I was studying it last year. So the thing is, our agricultural pattern changed at the Industrial Revolution, changed at the Second World War, changed with the Civil Rights Bill, or whichever equivalent. Like in England, the Civil Rights Bill would be the SS Windrush, where the Jamaican people, the Jamaican black people, the mixed people, um, were brought here. I think it was 1947, and from there, then we had the Jewish slum landlords and the Profumo affair. The film Scandal is about that. So so in order for the society to have been culturally Marximized, the cultural Marxism has attacked the society. It had to have been a solid societal unit with rules, with definitions, with order, with regulations, with all of the pattern structure that can be set down as a blueprint for the template of the model that it's following. Now, the Constitution is what binds all of that together. That's the agreement that the people have made for the government to actually do this stuff, and that's our agreement with the with the government to allow them to do this stuff at our behest, at our expense, and also accountable to us. End of story. It's not accountable to, you know, Apple, Google. It's not accountable to the multinational companies because it doesn't belong to them, it belongs to us. So Apple now have just been um, given a £13 billion bill because they were given illegal state aid for tax purposes, whatever it was, so they didn't have to pay tax. Now that's 13 billion back. This is for Ireland. That's 13 billion now being ordered by the EU court, which is from pressure. There's no way the EU court was going to do this without a lot of this political pressure, which is happening. So big up ourselves on that one. Um, and these things will continue to happen, and it's up to us to apply pressure, get involved with the running of society, and get some Alexander Technique lessons. That would be my advice anyway. Take magnesium. If you're a man, take zinc. If you're a woman, you want yarrow during your menstrual time, your time of the month, and vitamin D, and that'll put you on a good platform. Now, a lot of people are doing weights, and I would concentrate on doing balanced weights. You want core, you want legs. You definitely want legs. The reason why you want legs is because blood circulation, the bigger muscles are in the buttocks, the thighs, and that's where you stay younger longer. Um, so anyway, yeah, the body of the Constitution. We're talking about the physical, biological body, but the intangible body of the nation state is a recognised body, body politic. So so it needs the Constitution in order to pull up any of the thing. It's like a antivirus basically. If something goes wrong in the law and order, then the Constitution's there to be called up upon. Well, a lot of what's happening with the Jewish people is that there's a hell of a lot of criminality going on in their corner, so we need to call that out, and we need to pinpoint where it is. It's generally in the white collar crime, because all Jews are accountants, lawyers. They're involved in you know drug smuggling, human trafficking, just like The reason why it's white collar is because it's dealing in money. So they have to launder that money back into society to be able to use it, and that's why they like owning the banks. Anyway, I think that's covered a little bit. So I'm starting to like the alt right now. Now that it's been defined well, because you know it's an American thing that's mushroomed out, and I've got friends who are more involved in it than me, who are in England, and they're explaining to me, and I'm learning a lot from them, and I'm catching on, and I'm liking the spirit of it. It's got fizz, it's got it's got fervor, but basically it's got um, it's got essence. There's something there. There's something we can work on together here now. It's like we have got many issues that, yeah, we don't agree on all these things, but there are things that we do agree on, and that's what we need to focus on. And I think the alt right at the minute gives some sort of semblance in listening to the people that I've been listening to on the right stuff.biz seems to be leading the way. The very philosophical, very logical, very intelligent. They want to cultivate and breed that. You've got the Houston Goilers. You've got, uh, you know, like I was just listening to Greg Johnson, and as he's saying, there's a whole wave of momentum now, and what it's doing is as waves creep, they 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 grow and and they move onto the land, and that's where we're heading with this. So good luck everyone, and keep at it. We're doing sterling work, and we can definitely burst a few bubbles, which I think are long in need of bursting. That's it. Bye.